Hey there, welcome back to High Infidelity, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into today's story video. My wife, 34 female, went to a stranger's house after drinking, and now I have two completely different accounts of what happened during the night. Plus update. So my wife and her buddy went out drinking on Friday night, and she didn't get home until 4 a.m., which concerned me to death. When she eventually arrived home, she was quite inebriated and was virtually being pulled by her companion. The buddy had a sorry expression on her face and urged me to be patient while she told me her story. Of course, I was concerned on what account. The buddy departed, stating that it would be better if my wife informed me. My wife had clearly left by this time. As a result, I fell asleep as well. My wife wakes me up at 11 a.m., weeping, and says she has made a terrible mistake, and she is extremely sorry. She was distraught at this point, and I tried to calm her down. She eventually informed me that she had been so intoxicated last night that she ate up with a stranger. As you can expect, I was astonished. So I probed for more information, and she told me that they had met two men while drinking and were buying them rounds. She claims she turned down the drinks at first, but when one of her friends indicated interest in one of them, they went to chat and took drinks from them. My wife was tasked with keeping the man's companion occupied while her pal chatted to the guy. After some time and a lot of drinks, they went to the guy's house and she had with him there. My wife claims she went there just to ensure the safety of her buddy and had no ulterior purpose. She did acknowledge to some innocent flirtation with the man, but she said it had no significance to her. She was determined about not having with the guy. Then I remarked, perhaps you were pushed, and we should attempt to figure out who the man was first. I pushed for further information, but she stated she couldn't recall. So I went to the bar in the evening and inquired around, and happily, the man my wife's buddy ate up with was there as well. When I spoke with him, he painted a very different image of the night. He said that he and his buddy were quite explicit with both my wife and her friend from the start that they were wanting to ate up, and neither my wife nor her friend objected. He also said that my wife was well aware of what was about to occur once they returned to the home. I didn't get to meet the second MF-ing man who ate up with my wife, but I did chat to him on the phone and he claimed the same thing. Both ladies knew what was going on and stole into his place. I became furious with him, but he argued that he didn't push anybody, that he was as intoxicated as she was, and that it was absolutely mutual from the minute they began chatting in the bar. He suggested I could go at the videotape to see how my wife and her companion were behaving that night. I attempted, but they refused to provide me the video without a police record. I'm at a loss for words here. My wife claims that's not the case, but she did confess to flirting with him, and those people insist it was reciprocal. My wife refuses to pursue a lawsuit against them, and I'm at a loss. Only one thing is certain. My wife prioritized her friends' lives above our marital life. Otherwise, why would she go to a stranger's home after midnight? That is evident to me, even if the rest is a mystery. Any suggestions on how to proceed? Update. I just wanted to give you a quick update before I board my trip. After I posted my post, I realized I was just too stressed to be near my wife. Her very existence was exacerbating my stress. So I've chosen to return home and spend New Year's Eve with my folks, aka people who once stabbed me in the back. My wife was distressed and weeping uncontrollably, but my main concern was making it to the airport on time. She has been requesting that we go to couples counseling, that she would quit drinking, that she will stop hanging out with her single friends and so on. But I told her I didn't care. You're allowed to have it while I'm gone. I simply want some peace and quiet, so I'm heading to my safe haven. My house used to be my safe haven, and my wife was my rock, but that reality has now been broken. Anyway, she chose to travel to her parents' place, so she dropped me off at the airport and begged me to take her with me. But I need some alone time or my head will explode, and I'm not sure whether I'll see her again, whether via divorce or reconciliation. I'm not sure. So thank you to everyone who replied, and maybe I'll provide an update after I've made a choice. I simply need your best wishes right now, please. Update 2. I am presently at home. I'm enjoying my mother's cooking and have reunited with a few old pals who have returned home for the holidays. We went boating at one of our local lakes, which was fantastic. Being in the company of someone you believe will not harm you is quite beneficial. My wife, on the other hand, has yet to hear from me, other than to inform her that I have returned home safely and will call her whenever I choose. My mother has spoken to her a few times, but they are unaware of anything. I've informed them that we're simply experiencing some difficulties. My parents have been married for 28 years and know better than to meddle in my marriage. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. I haven't decided whether I want to remain married or not. Right now, all I want to do is enjoy the Christmas holiday with my family, and then I'll make a decision depending on how I'm feeling at the time. Thank you very much for your help. Story 2. My wife seems jealous of her son's wife. My wife and I'm a 52-year-old man, have a dog, female 48. This is my second marriage. She was a single mother for many years and has 2 children, a son, a male 27 years old, and a daughter, a female 21 years old, female 19. Our house is home to her daughter, who lives with us. Her son, who is in his 20s, lives with his wife and their daughter at a nearby apartment complex, 3 female. My wife and I have been married for 3 years now. Because she was a single mother for many years, I understand that she has a strong bond with her children, but this sounds excessive to me. She seems to be jealous of the wife of her son. Many minor red flags have been raised recently, but there have been some large red flags in recent months as well. My wife and I, as well as her daughter and her boyfriend, her son and his wife, and a child, rented a huge cabin in the fall of last year. We remained for a total of 10 days. Over the course of those 10 days, they left their daughter with us on 2 separate occasions and went out on their own. They did ask. My wife said yes at the time. The wife became really enraged when we all went into town and the couple asked if we would be willing to babysit their child, to which the wife said yes. It was subsequently revealed that they had returned to the cabin. She was enraged as a result of that. Especially noteworthy was the fact that her daughter and her boyfriend spent very little time with us, and she didn't seem to mind at all. The following significant item, moreover, I understand why she is enraged about it. Her child, on the other hand, was experiencing some health issues and was admitted to the hospital 2 weeks ago. He was informed that he had cancer. Fortunately, it can be reversed. When me and her daughter arrived at the hospital after the diagnosis, his wife was already there waiting for us. Her daughter left the room to use the toilet, and while she was gone, her son came back to tell us that he was fatigued and wanted to rest. His wife inquired as to whether we would be able to take up their preschool-aged child and keep her for dinner. We, of course, replied affirmatively. In order to wait for my wife's kid, we went into the family room with her. Our daughter came upon us a few minutes later and alerted us. When her wife questioned as to whether she had said goodbye to her brother, she answered that she had began to step inside the room when she heard her brother sobbing, and she had left as a result. My wife immediately sprang to her feet, and when I inquired as to where she was heading, she said that her child needed her assistance. I tried to stop her, but she persisted on going inside his room. I was furious. In less than a minute, she was out of her mind and agitated. He asked her to go, and she agreed. I overheard her complaining to me about how her husband just wanted his wife's comfort and that she was his mother, among other things, on the way to pick up her granddaughter. I listened, then tried to bring up the potential that she and her child had a dysfunctional connection a few days later. I was unsuccessful. Maintaining perspective, keep in mind that these are merely 2 of the most notable examples. She's mentioned her son and his wife to me a few times in passing over the years. Her demeanor sometimes gives me the impression that she is jealous of her daughter-in-law. We have come to an impasse, and I'm at a loss for what to say or do.